Hey guys, so today I wanted to talk to you about my scan results. Everything looked really good. Um, we, I did my CT of chest, abdomen, and pelvis. And then I did my bone scan. My bone scan was great. It showed a little bit of more like arthritis and osteoporosis, probably from the chemo and things like that. In my shoulders, in my wrists, mostly in my upper body, it showed more of that going on. Last time it showed a lot in my lower body. So it's kind of going on everywhere. But that's okay because I can handle that. And then the other scans. Just 1 second, I have to let my dog in. Well, anyway. There we go. Try and reset the camera there. Alright. Where was I? Chest, abdomen, pelvis. That's where I was. Alright. So, the chest looked good, I believe. The lungs, there was, I think, like a tiny bit, like that maybe like a millimeter that maybe have gotten bigger, but there was, it just said tiny. So I'm going with tiny. Chest nodule got bigger, and then everything else, my spleen was still swollen, of course, and my liver still has cirrhosis, of course. My bladder did not show up properly, so they couldn't get a good reading on it. And I had been having some issues, kind of like going to the bathroom and things. My dog is going crazy on the floor right now. Check it out. Let me see if I can get it on there. Oh, there she is. There she's going crazy. What are you doing, Maya? Anyway. So, chest, abdomen, pelvis, the pelvis. I have been having issues. Maya, go play, crazy girl. Going to the bathroom, like going pee. Sometimes it's a little hesitant. Sometimes, sorry if I'm being really raw and real talking about this, but you know, stuff I have to deal with all the time. So, like, I can't pee sometimes. Or, like, I really have to pee, and then I get in there, and then, like, nothing happens. And then other times I have pain down on the right side, and I have just been assuming, because it comes and goes, it's nothing that sticks around, I have just been assuming that it has been my polycystic ovarian syndrome. Because I have cysts, and they grow, and they pop, and they hurt, and they grow, and they pop, and they hurt, and it's just been a cycle that I deal with for a while. So, just a second, again. Alright, let's try this one more time. So, okay, there we go. The pelvis part of the exam showed, what was I talking about? The ovary thing? Okay, so the ovary thing, which is what I thought was happening, is not the case. There was, there's some growth happening in there where my uterus used to be, and, I don't know how many of you have followed my story from the very beginning, because I kind of started this page halfway through my journey, or what I thought was towards the end of my journey, when I was doing radiation and thought that I was gonna finish with radiation and be free and clear, and then, as we all know, that didn't happen. But at the beginning of all this, I had endometrial hyperplasia. I don't know if that's how you say the word, but I I was on hormone therapies to try to reverse this growth that was happening, and it was stage 4 of that, which was stage 0 in endometrial cancer. So they kept going in and scraping those out. I would have multiple surgeries, like once every 8 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks, and they would go in and scrape it out, and I would be on hormone therapies to try to reverse the growth, and it didn't work. So we decided it was time for a hysterectomy. Well, my doctor was going to do a full hysterectomy, take my ovaries and everything. Well, at the time, I had an extremely bad surgeon, like general surgeon, not my OBGYN. He was okay. He was going to take it all out. Well, my surgeon who diagnosed me and told me that I had cancer, who was crazy, she told him that because my cancer was not hormone driven, we should leave my ovaries because I need the estrogen. Well, now the growth that's happening in my uterus down there could be happening from the ovaries, and it's on the right side, and that's the side where I have pain often, and that's where I have just been assuming that I've had cysts popping. So I'm going to talk to my doctor when I go back in. I don't know if he's going to let me do this next chemo in general, because the last 2 chemos have put me pretty much in the hospital. Just by simply throwing up, which is a normal side effect of chemo. And I can't even do that because of the cirrhosis, and then I throw up and I throw up blood, and then I end up back in the hospital, and it's like a vicious cycle. Every 3 weeks, it starts all over again. I spend a week in the hospital, 2 weeks at home, 1 week recovering from chemo, then the next week in the hospital, and then the next week it's time for chemo again. So the last chemo he didn't want me to do, but I went ahead and did it anyway, because you got to keep on keeping on, and I did. And when I go in this time and he says, I don't think you should do this chemo, I'm going to say, I don't know what I'm going to say really in actuality, because I just don't. My palliative care doctor is talking about, she thinks I need to completely just get off of this medicine. She thinks that it's no longer benefiting me, which I kind of agree in a way. Besides, it's keeping me stable. I love that. I absolutely love that. The side effects, though, are kind of starting to stack up and be cumulative. And then I'm having to take medicines to counteract the side effects, and then side effects of other things. And it's just crazy. So she thinks it's time to switch. I haven't talked to my oncologist about it yet. And although he did mention it last time I was in there, he did mention going on to the next step. But I'm kind of weary, as that's kind of the last step that they told me in Texas that I would have available to me. So I really want to hold off really as long as I can. Maybe I'll just take a break from Kadcyla for a little bit and then go back on it in maybe a couple months or something. But I have a decision to make for sure. Oh, what are you doing? Just plop down there next to me? But I do have a decision to make as to what I want to do with chemo. If I want to stick with this chemo or if I'm moving on. So, lots of vibes, lots of thoughts, lots of strength, lots of all that good juju that you guys send my way. I feel all the jujus. So, keep sending them. And I will talk to you guys later. And I hope that, I don't know, you guys have a really good day. I always say that. I don't know how to end these videos. How do you end a video like this?